about it. And this is a person that I wanted to talk about. This is a good friend. Well, this is a daughter of two good friends of mine. You've heard me talk about my little buddy and 34. This is their kid, Maddie. Maddie, come on stage. Jenna, bring on Maddie.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Maddie lives down in the Boise area. I think we'll say Boise, right about there.
Yeah, about
Okay.
pretty
She's
close.
5 hours south of me. She's doing this late. She just got finished with her youngest daughter's or only daughter's birthday party. So we'll let her slide for this. Maddie is interesting to me because Maddie, I'm gonna. I know you're not supposed to ask. How old are you?
I'm 20. I'll be 25 next month.
Okay, 25. You look like you're 15. So
Hmm.
this is great. You've got great genes. Um,
Thanks.
so 25. She's got two kids. Blaze is how old?
He will be 3 in August.
Three and then one.
Yep.
Three. Blaze is three. Presley's one. So Maddie's Blaze has Down syndrome, and I always wanted to talk to her about it. You know, and me, probably something you shouldn't talk to people about, but I am who I am, so I just talk about it.
Yeah.
And I remember when your mom, my little buddy, brought it up, and I was like, okay, cool. And I've met Blaze. He still doesn't say my name, which we'll discuss at a later point because that pisses me off. But I met him one time at Waffles and More. He was just a baby, but I haven't seen him since. But I see lots and lots of videos and pictures. Obviously, Grandma is overdoing him with it. It's fantastic. The dude's always got a smile on his face, blah, 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 blah. And it's one of those where I've seen lots of babies in my time, and this dude is happy. Like, is he?
Yeah.
Let's just start with this. Is
Yeah.
he always this happy?
No. Nope. I would say most people you see with Down syndrome are always happy. There is, though, I would say, I guess it's hard to say always because Blaze still too, he feels all the emotions that we do. And when he
Mhm.
gets mad, he can get really, really mad. And so sometimes like right now, we're going through the terrible threes and he is
Oh
not
yeah.
always happy. And so he is like for this evening, he was quite unhappy, but for the most part, he really is. He's saying hi to everybody we walk by in the stores. I mean, anybody. And so he is happy a lot, but I wouldn't say always happy just because
Well, and then
I don't know.
the
They
next
they
question I have to
definitely
ask, next, knowing your mother, is he
mhm.
redheaded?
No, no,
Okay. Okay. We
yeah.
we dodged that
Presley
bullet.
Presley is has a little
Um,
bit of red in her hair though, so
well,
we'll
I'm
see.
sorry for that one because God
Yeah.
knows what that's going to be like in teen years. And then I wanted to bring up this Shane Gillis video because a lot of people are apprehensive about talking about it. But Shane Gillis, if you don't know who Shane Gillis is, he's like one of the top 5 comedians in the world. And he talks often about how he has I think it's his uncle that has Downs. But Jenna, go ahead and play this video for us.
When you bring up Down syndrome, you can always tell who's never been around it in their lives. You know what I mean? Like if I tell people, if I'm like, yeah, I have family members with Down syndrome, people that have never been around it are always like, oh. Like Down syndrome is the fucking end of the world. Like, oh. Are they okay? Are they doing okay? It's like, they're doing better than everybody I know. They're the only dudes I know having a good time pretty consistently. Sorry they're not on fucking Adderall and anti-anxiety like the rest of us. They're on fucking Capri Suns. Having a good time. Dude, my Uncle Danny sneaks grilled cheese sandwiches into restaurants just in case they don't serve grilled cheese sandwiches. You don't know where he's getting these fucking things. It's the best. It's the best. You'll be out to dinner with him, you look across the table, you see him sneaking a grilled cheese. Yo, where'd you get that cheese, Danny? His dad's with him. He's like, that fucker, he's been making them at night. I know he is. I'm not making them at night, Dad. And he'll look at you and be like, I'm making them at night.
Okay, so Maddie, obviously very funny. Do you think,
Yes.
does that offend you at all? Because I
No.
guarantee people are going to watch it and go, that's offensive, Rubio. Why did you play that? Why would you play it? So that doesn't offend you.
No, no, it does not. Nope.
And do you think it's a good thing?
I do. I do. I think that they should be bringing I don't know how to word that. I don't know how to word it, but I think it's a good thing. I think you should be able to laugh about it and, be able to make harmless, like, not mean, obviously, not being mean jokes, but
Yeah.
that's not, it's hard to explain. I'm not the best at talking anyways, but that, I don't think it's offensive, no.
Yeah, and Jenna says it brings more awareness in a different way. I would say that's
Yes.
100%. And it's like
Yeah.
when he says, "Hey, are they okay?" It's like, "Yeah, dude, they're the happy. You know, there's some. You're not worried about anything. They got their sun on their face, their pants are on, and they're going about it like
Exactly.
that. So you think it's okay. So that's number one.
Yeah.
The
Hmm.
immediate question I had to ask, and I tiptoed around it earlier. Okay, when your girl's pregnant, you go through all these tests, blah blah blah. I remember my wife did it, all that, and at some point, did they tell you, okay, we're like 50% sure, 60% sure this kid's gonna have Downs?
Yeah, so I'll explain that really quick.
Yeah.
We got the genetics testing done, and we really were only going to get it because my brother has cystic fibrosis, so we kind of wanted to just check all that out. And she came back in and she said, "Well, everything's negative, but he did test positive for trisomy 21." And I'll tell you, everything went completely like I just felt like everything crashed down. I'll be honest, I really did
Okay.
because I didn't know much about it. It was scary hearing about it, especially being 22 at the time, and my husband 20, 24, and so it's really scary. And we did the test, and it came back, and they told us at one point they told us that he did have it, but he might not have it. And so we were like, okay, so we weren't for sure. So they were telling us it was like 50-50. And they kind of put me through a whirlwind my whole pregnancy because they made me go see a specialist and kind of told me some really scary things that weren't actually true.
Mhm.
Um, but when Blaze was actually born, I got preeclampsia, so I had to deliver him early. Blaze actually had two holes in his heart when he was born. And I remember when I found out he had Down syndrome, I prayed and prayed and prayed. I said, I don't care that he has Down syndrome. I just want him to be healthy
Mm.
because, there's a lot of scariness to that. And he had two holes in his heart, and he was in the NICU for 5 days, and they healed by themselves before we left. Yeah,
Jesus.
it was, it's, yeah, it's pretty crazy. And Blaze, we have never had a health issue with him since. We're just really blessed with that because it's not always the case for everybody else. And so he, he he's doing really, really well. And it was really scary, but I wish I could go back in time and tell myself not to be because of all the blessings that we've seen since.
Well,
So,
yeah, I mean, being
mhm,
first time pregnant, okay, that's
yeah,
frightening as all can be. And then all of a
yeah,
sudden there's a baby in there, and then next second the baby's out. And yeah,
hmm,
you were like, okay, Down syndrome looks like nothing compared to holes in the heart, for the love of
yeah,
God. I mean, so
yeah,
yeah, that puts it on the table. And like
hmm,
Jenna just wrote, yeah, it was World Down Syndrome Day on March 21st. I know, Jenna,
yes,
that's why we're talking right
yep,
now. And I was going to bring that up, and my little buddy didn't tell me to wear socks until after the day because you're supposed to wear crazy
yeah,
socks, which
yes.
I was not notified until I had already put on my socks for the day. So there's that.
Well, now we know for
So
next year.
you had no hesitation at all. Like, okay, you found out Blaze is going to
Yeah.
be down, and I mean that is incredibly. I don't want to use the word courageous, but just
Hmm.
well, kind of courageous, but kind of cool. Like, and that did you and your husband talk about it at all? Like, okay, so this is kind of an uphill battle. We're just full speed ahead. Let's go.
Yeah, I will say my husband was definitely the one that was telling me that everything was going to be fine. We've got this. We've got it handled. I was really, really scared because of all the health issues, and I I've looked up on Google all the stuff. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have done because it tells you all everything bad.
Yeah.
But my husband, he was, I mean, the number one through it all, and he was, and I mean, I'm serious too. He was definitely really supportive through the whole entire thing. He did not seem worried at all. Like he was just like, nope, we've got it. I mean, it's not God chose us for a reason, and so that's
Mm.
what. Yeah, he does not make mistakes, and so I know he didn't make a mistake choosing us to be his parents, and so
Yeah,
it
that's a
was.
very powerful statement. I like that a lot, and I agree with that. That's why I always thought, okay, if when I have a kid, it wouldn't have surprised me in a bit because I could
Yeah,
handle it, and it's gonna be like, okay, what are you gonna do? Let's move forward. Okay, two tears in a bucket, and think of a word that
yeah.
rhymes with bucket. Okay, I'll just say that. And so, how are you handling it? It's obviously tricky raising a 3-year-old, and I will tell you that
Mhm.
3-year-olds they're bad because now
Yeah,
they're 2 years olds, and now they have an attitude, and then it's kind of you just want to yeah. So
yeah.
what advice can you give to other parents that are maybe just finding this out as well?
My advice would be, it really would just be not to be scared. I really like there is a lot of scary stuff that can happen, yes, but the the joy that they bring, all of that goes away, I feel like. And I do feel like if you were chosen to be a parent to somebody with special needs, anybody with special needs,
Mhm.
not even just Down syndrome, there's a reason for that, and you can do it. And it is really hard. Shoot, I cry. I have breakdowns all the time because I feel like I'm not doing something right or I'm not teaching him the right way. But then we'll go out in front of all these people, and he will go up and just want to hug somebody, or he'll go up and rub your back if he thinks you're upset or whatever. And it makes you realize, okay, maybe I am doing something right. And but it's really scary. I would just say, just I don't know how to really say that, but you're chosen for a reason. You really are. And so yeah, I'm
No,
sorry. That's not.
you said it
It's
perfectly, man. You said it absolutely perfectly. Because I mean, raising kids is not easy. I mean, I always used to say it, you know, I'm not the first person to do it, not going to be the
Mhm.
last person to do it. There's been a lot of people that are dumber than I am that have raised kids that are functioning adults. And if they can do
Mhm.
it, then I can do it as well. And I think from what I can tell from all the videos and all that good stuff, you're doing a great job.
Thanks.
My What else is there anything else before I let you go that you want to tell people about dealing with, so like say a parent of a 5-year-old walks by and sees Blaze and they notice, okay, it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
What advice do you have for those parents?
I would say let your kid, if your kid is looking at my son and he wants to, he's just looking at him and trying to figure something out, let him come up and say hi. Let him come up and treat the biggest thing Austin and I told each other is when we found out Blaze had Down syndrome, we said we're not treating him any different. Like he's going to be treated like any other kid. We've done that, and I definitely feel like it's helped us in a lot of ways, milestone wise too. Just not, you don't put limits on them. They're capable of anything. There's a guy with Down syndrome I follow. He gets on horse and he ropes, and he works cows. I mean, that's pretty amazing because one of the biggest things with Down syndrome is like low muscle tone too. And so uh Blaze started walking after he was 2 and stuff. And so there's just a lot of stuff. And so being able to build that muscle up and do all these amazing things, just don't tell them they can't do that. They can do so many things. You just have to be able to have the patience to be able to help them get there because, it takes a lot of patience, but they can do everything. And so, but yeah, I would say too with parents, just let your kids, just let them talk to them. Don't point them out to where, stiff they are different, if that makes
Hmm.
sense.
Oh,
I
I
would
understand.
just,
I get it.
yeah, just let them, yeah, just let them be kids together. I don't know how to say
No,
that,
you're
but
you're
just,
you're doing
yeah,
absolutely perfect. Maddie, final question for you before I let you go and we go to commercial. How close are we to Blaze saying Rubio?
we're gonna get there. We'll get there.
Okay, because
He,
I'm
yeah,
thinking I'm hoping by end of summer.
we'll work on that for sure. That'll be a goal.
Okay, maybe you just have them watch this and we'll just say Rubio, Rubio,
Deal.
Rubio. We can do it. Maddie, I really appreciate your time. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
You're doing a great job.
Thank
Everyone, this is
you.
Maddie. Jenna,
Hi, thank you for having me.